In business, President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday signed the 2019 Appropriation Bill at a tune of 8.91 trillion naira, this ahead of the president's inauguration for a second term in office. During his presentation of the budget, he mentioned an expected revenue of 6.97 trillion naira, which according to him is 3% lower than the projected revenue for 2018. And in the studio, we're being joined by Osilama Okofu. He's a development economist and a management consultant. It's good to have you join us in the studio once again.
Thanks for having me.
Looking at the budget as it is, of course, Mr. President is making sure that he explains to us that it's 3% lower than what was estimated. What is your take on the just signed budget, and what does this tell the international community of us?
Well, the budget as a whole, it's even lower than that of 2018. I think what was done was a revision, based on the reality, right? I know at some point over 300 billion naira was returned to the government coffers. And if you look at the budget, I think if you compare 2019 and 2018, the figure is about that. So I guess what the people in the budget office thought about was, okay, if you people didn't spend such an amount of money, there's no point in, adding it or even increasing what we had in 2018. So that was the reality. Again, too, on the expected revenue, which is, like you just read out, 3% lower than that of 2020. But if you look at even what was achieved in 2018, in 2018, the projected revenue was 7.3 trillion or thereabouts. But what was achieved was 45% of that. It was 2-point-something trillion. So that is the reality. Projection, of course, now differs from what actually does happen. But the question or the issue, therefore, is why are we not meeting our projections, right? The projections are predicated upon, our economy is driven by oil.
Oil, yeah.
So when the daily output is not met, when the price of oil in the international market or the benchmark that is used is low or lower than what was projected, and of course again other sectors are they're not pulling their weight, like agriculture. Of course they will have a negative impact on the economy. But overall, you see, what interests the international international investors,
community, yeah.
Right? International community goes beyond what you are budgeting. What's budget? Budget, I mean, is a statement of intent. All right. What they look at essentially are the operating environment.
So the ease of doing business, the security, all of those things. Exactly.
So things like that. I mean, no economy thrives in an atmosphere of insecurity and uncertainty, right? That's what is referred to as a PESO analysis. If investors want to come into an economy, they look at all those factors. They look at the political climate. They look at the economic policies and economic environment. If they come in to do business, is there a market that will take their goods and or their services? They look at the sociocultural factors. They look at your level of technological advancement. Nigeria currently ranks amongst the 3 lowest in ICT infrastructure. They look at your legal environment. Does the government obey the rule of law? Are the co-equal branch of government respected, right? You and I know that the judiciary is being emasculated right now.
Just quickly, because we have a few seconds to go. If we notice that there's been a drop, back to back in these projections, how come we're not doing our homework to address the issues that are causing these drops, in our projection? That way, we get to go higher instead of retrogressing.
It's not retrogression per se. I mean, let's be realistic. Like I said, projections are just benchmarks. They're just
like targets.
Yeah, they are targets. You could actually overshoot the target.
Targets, so why
something could just happen today. Rocket Man might just shoot his rocket, and finally, Donald Trump will say, "Okay, I've had enough from this boy." Right? There's tension between America and Iran. Iran is a major player in the international oil space. Now, if there's crisis which is building, something will just trigger a war. the price of oil will overshoot 200. So you find out that we probably would even overshoot our projection. So there are certain factors that are exogenous to you. They could be beneficial to you. They would harm you. It depends. Okay. But what is fundamental is our ability to meet our targeted benchmark and see what the market does.
All right. Well, we want to thank you very much, Uslama Okofu, development economist and management consultant. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thanks for having me.